How are the residents of Greendale going to survive the Eldritch Terrors? Is Sabrina's time travel scheme going to misfire? And most importantly, what does the future hold for our favorite couple in Season 4 of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina? Netflix has officially announced that the show's final season will be released on December 31st. But the question remains, how will it all end? Let's start with a quick recap. In the final few episodes of last season, things went totally off the rails and almost all of our favorite characters ended up dead. Luckily, a future version of Sabrina showed up to save the day, and the present-day Sabrina went back in time to set things right. After saving her friends and the world, Sabrina put her future self in charge as Queen of Hell, allowing the present version of herself to live a human life on Earth. Phew, that's a lot to take in, isn't it? Zelda has switched things up and now worships Hecate, and the pagans who challenged her have now been defeated. Everything is finally over, except Father Blackwood just unleashed a new horror on the town of Greendale. After all that non-stop action, all we can say is, Season 4 has some pretty big shoes to fill. With so much drama going down, there's still one huge question that the last season has to answer. Will we finally see Sabrina choose between the path of light and the path of night once and for all? From the very beginning, we've watched our favorite teen witch struggle to balance the magical and mortal parts of her life. Whether she was resisting signing over her soul or facing off against the Dark Lord himself, she's never stopped fighting to hold on to her human life. But despite her love for the mortal realm, there's a part of Sabrina that doesn't quite fit. Over the past 3 seasons, we've seen her fight for balance, and every time she gives into her darker nature, she drifts further away from the friends back at Baxter High. No matter how hard she tries, it seems like her duties to the night always take over, pulling her further into the dark. Thankfully, it seems like she might have finally found a solution with last season's time travel fix. With another Sabrina taking care of her hellish duties, our heroine finally has the chance to live out her teenage dreams in Greendale. But is it all too good to be true? Ambrose seems pretty worried that the paradox Sabrina created will have lasting effects. And with both Sabrinas showing up in the Season 4 trailer, we have to wonder, can Sabrina really have it all? And even if she can, what if a normal teenage life just isn't enough for the daughter of Satan? Despite her ties to the mortal world, Sabrina has a dark side, and we know she's not afraid to use it. She is the Queen of Hell after all, and if she wants to keep that title, she's in for a fight, because she's not the only one. Especially now that Madame Satan is pregnant with the future Prince of Hell. Lilith's relationship with the Dark Lord has always been twisted, and now things are about to get even worse. That poor kid is going to need some serious family therapy. Speaking of Kings of Hell, the last time we saw our favorite eye candy, Caliban, Sabrina turned him to stone. But don't worry, he's alive and hot in the Season 4 trailer, and we can guess he's not going down without a fight. With so many contenders for the crown, the battle for the underworld is definitely heating up. But that's nothing compared to what's happening up on the surface. Things in Greendale are hotter than Nicholas Scratch, and that's saying something. At the end of Season 3, Father Blackwood went totally off the deep end, unleashing a new kind of horror on the mortal world. We don't know much about these mysterious threats, but according to actress Kiernan Shipka, they're more powerful than any character force, even combined. Given how much they've been teased, it looks like the Eldritch Terrors are the backbone of this season's story. Even the official synopsis warns us, the Coven must fight each terrifying threat one by one, all leading up to the Void, which is the end of all things. We all know that Father Blackwood lost his status and followers, but his fall from grace has made him reckless and dangerous. Even though he's already let loose the terrors, we're pretty sure he's not done yet. Every time we think he's been defeated, he just comes back again, even worse than he was before. He's like a pimple that just won't quit. Could Prudence be the one to finally stop her crazy dad? After last season, her failure to kill him is definitely eating at her, so we know she's out for revenge. And hopefully once she gets it, she'll be willing to give poor Ambrose another shot. Honestly, who doesn't stan Pambrose? Now that we've covered the heavy stuff, what about all the relationship drama? Well, Harvey and Roz are still holding strong and adorable, and it sounds like Roz is really coming into her own. Actress Jazz Sinclair teased that we're going to get a new look at the seer's growing abilities. You're going to see a lot more of her powers. I'm freaking pumped. Part 4 is exciting for Roz. We're pumped too, especially since Roz has become such an incredible force in the show. Whether she's fighting monsters or fighting injustices, she's never afraid to back down. Seeing her learn to use her voice and her sight has been one of the most inspiring parts of the show, so we can't wait for more. And what about Theo? After watching him really come into his own as a trans man, it was so satisfying to see him finally find love with handsome hobgoblin Robin. But will their happiness last? Actor Lachlan Watson teased that their love story will face its own set of challenges. Does Robin stay in Greendale? That's definitely going to be the question in part 4. And the cute couples don't stop there. Thankfully, Hilda and her fiancé, Dr. Cerberus, are both back from the dead, so we're crossing our fingers for their happily ever after. Watching Hilda kill the man she loved was heartbreaking, so we're glad she's getting a second chance. Hilda has always been the heart of the show, so it's especially nice to see someone taking care of her heart. Zelda, on the other hand, she hasn't had much luck at all. After a toxic relationship with Father Blackwood that ended in literal mind control, Zelda has cast off any old-fashioned ideals she was holding onto and finally taken power for herself. She's transformed into a total feminist icon. That attitude is carrying over into Zelda's love life as well. At the end of last season, we saw her sharing a kiss with the powerful voodoo priestess Mambu Marie, so Zelda has definitely upgraded big time. And they're running the Church of Hecate together. Talk about a power couple. It seems like the only single one left is Sabrina, but will that last? The trailer for Season 4 shows Nick at Baxter High looking absolutely adorable in a Letterman jacket. If he's showing up in the human world, we can only assume it's because he's ready to fight for Sabrina. At least that's what we're hoping. But it definitely won't be easy. Even though Ambrose managed to get the devil out of Nick's body, he's still pretty traumatized. Sabrina was devastated by Nick's lies last season, so she has to get over that if they've got a shot. Admittedly, the guy was going through a pretty rough time, but can she really overlook the drugs, the lies, and the masochism? Despite their messy history, the former couple is clearly harboring some major feelings. Maybe they'll be able to work through it together. Although, we'd be lying if we said we wouldn't love to see her find her way back to Harvey. When asked about the potential for a love triangle, Jazz Sinclair commented, "With your first love, there's always a part of you that's going to love them and connect with them because you shared something so special together. So I think there's always going to be that spark and recognition of hearts between them. I just don't see that going away." If that's the case, Sabrina might just find herself right back where she started, torn between a mortal and a warlock, between the path of light and the path of night. There's also one super fun element to the series that will see us say goodbye to Baxter High with a bang. Battle of the Bands. One standout thing about the show is definitely the super fun musical numbers. They show off the characters in a totally different way and add tons of energy to the series. And the good news is, we can expect plenty more songs from our favorite band. Showrunner Roberto Aguirre-Sacasa assured us that the show isn't letting up on the performances, and even teased an epic Battle of the Bands episode. We wonder who the competition will be. Maybe some familiar faces? Now there's only one question left. How do we say goodbye? Over the last 3 seasons, audiences have had the chance to fall in love with Greendale and all its residents, and letting go is going to be hard. The past 24 episodes have covered less than a year of Greendale time, but it feels like a lifetime to fans who have fallen in love with the show. From watching Theo gain the confidence to come out, to falling in love with Sabrina and Nick, the show's fans have gotten the chance to grow up alongside these characters, and letting them go now feels almost unimaginable. Hopefully, the final season will satisfy any remaining questions and give our faves the happy endings they deserve. The writers are definitely pulling out the big guns. We just hope they can pull it off. No one wants the kind of epic disappointment Game of Thrones fans got, am I right? One thing is for sure, the show has definitely set us up for an epic conclusion. With a battle for the crown raging in hell and a battle of survival happening on Earth, Sabrina and her friends are going to be busy. The season is stacked with powerful characters, swoon-worthy couples, and major villains. But how will it all come together? Your guess is as good as ours. Do you think Sabrina will finally make her choice? And more importantly, who should she end up with? Sound off below in the comments and let us know what you want to see in Season 4. Until then, keep it spooky!